Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to put on our systems analyst hats, but for human performance. We're going to take two absolute giants of productivity, atomic habits and deep work, and smash them together. The goal? To build one single, unified system for hitting peak performance, especially when it feels like the whole world is trying to steal your focus.
All right, let's just jump right in with a pretty provocative question. You've heard it a million times, right? Get 1% better every day. But what if that advice is actually a trap? What if all those small, easy wins are just a form of procrastination in disguise, keeping you busy but stopping you from doing the work that really moves the needle? So to figure that out, we've got to look at this massive conflict, this paradox, really, at the heart of productivity today. Think of it like a title fight between two huge ideas: the power of doing things often versus the power of doing things intensely. So, in one corner, you've got James Clear and Atomic Habits. His whole thing is the law of frequency. It's all about those tiny 1% improvements, done consistently every single day. The idea is that these little habits compound over time, just like interest in a bank, and lead to these incredible results. For Clear, it's all about consistency. But in the other corner, you've got Cal Newport and deep work. He's all about the law of intensity. Newport says, look, the real breakthroughs don't come from just showing up. They come from long, intense, completely uninterrupted periods of focus that push your brain to its absolute limit. It's that depth, he argues, that creates real, new value in the world.
And this is where Newport really throws a wrench in the 1% better idea with his concept of shallow work. You know what this is. It's the busy work, the emails, the Slack messages, the little logistical tasks that make you feel productive. From his point of view, if you're only focused on easy, small habits, you might just be trapping yourself in a cycle of shallow work, basically procrastinating on the hard, deep thinking that matters.
Okay, but let's flip that around, because James Clear's work has a really solid counterpoint. This idea of living like a monk, in some distraction-free fortress of solitude, for 99% of us, that's just not gonna happen. It's completely unsustainable. Willpower isn't infinite. It's like a muscle that gets tired. And if your whole strategy is to just resist all the interruptions of modern life, well, that's a losing game. It takes way too much energy.
So there you have it, a real conflict. To see how we can solve it, we need to look under the hood, at the biology of it all. Because it turns out these two books are actually talking to two totally different parts of your brain.
Okay, so Atomic Habits is all about your basal ganglia. Just think of that as your brain's autopilot. Its job is to automate things you do all the time to save energy. It turns complex stuff into these simple, automatic routines that you don't even have to think about. Super efficient. Deep work, though, that's a full-on heavy-lifting workout for your prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of your brain, right? It handles the hard stuff: complex problem-solving, planning, intense focus. It's incredibly powerful, but man, it burns a ton of energy.
And this brings us to the real problem. The critical system failure. It's something Cal Newport calls attention residue. And trust me, this is the hidden killer of our productivity.
Here's how it works. Let's say you have a perfect habit stack of good little tasks. The thing is, every single time you switch tasks, even from one good habit to another, a little piece of your brain's attention stays stuck on the last thing you were doing. This residue, it just fragments your focus into a million little pieces. It makes it almost impossible to get into that deep focus state where the real magic happens. You're busy for sure, but you're not actually focused.
So what's the solution to this whole mess? Well, the answer isn't about picking a winner. A good systems analyst doesn't choose sides. They integrate. We need to build a bridge, a kind of hybrid protocol that takes the best from both of these worlds and combines them into something even more powerful.
So what does this look like in the real world? It's actually pretty simple. Instead of thinking of habits and deep work as opponents, we're going to use habits as the launch pad that shoots us directly into a deep work session. It's basically a three-step system.
Now, the absolute key to this whole thing, the linchpin, is step 2, what we're calling the 2-minute warm-up. This comes straight from James Clear's playbook. Make it easy. We're talking about a tiny, ridiculously simple starting ritual. It could be something as small as just opening a document or clearing your desk. The action itself doesn't really matter. What matters is that it's a powerful, automatic trigger for your brain that says, okay, buckle up, deep work is starting now.
Let's look at a schedule for a knowledge worker. See how this flows? You start with a simple habit stack. Make coffee, clear the desk. Easy.
That leads right into the 2-minute warm-up. Open the project file. That tiny little habit is the final trigger that launches you into a solid block of pure, uninterrupted deep work. And all that other stuff, the shallow work, that gets pushed to the end of the block.
Okay, great. So we've got the protocol. But a protocol is useless if you can't stick to it, right? So how do we make this sustainable? We have to design an environment that actually protects our focus for us.
This is a huge point that both authors agree on. Your willpower is basically a battery. It starts full in the morning and just drains all day. So trying to rely on it to constantly fight off the siren song of every notification and distraction, yeah, that's a strategy that's destined to fail.
And the solution? It comes straight out of Atomic Habits. It's brilliant, really. Instead of trying to have more willpower, you just design your life so you need less of it. You basically engineer your environment, your physical space, your digital space, so that focus becomes the easiest, most natural thing to do.
So here are 3 super practical ways you can do this. First, to fight distraction, you add friction. Put your phone in a different room, lock it in a box, make it hard to get to. Second, to encourage focus, you use cues. Maybe you have a specific lamp that you only turn on when you're doing deep work. That's a signal to your brain. And third, to make starting easy, you reduce friction. Before you even start, have all your tools, your books, your browser tabs, everything open and ready to go.
This graph really ties the whole idea together beautifully. So imagine your output over time. See that steady, flat line? That's what Atomic Habits gives you. It's the consistent, reliable baseline. It keeps you moving forward every single day. But then you see those huge vertical spikes? That's deep work. Those are the intense, focused sessions that create the massive breakthroughs, the real growth. You absolutely need both. You need the line, and you need the spikes.
All right, let's land the plane here. We've gone through the conflict, the biology, the solution. So the big question remains, if you had to pick just one of these books, just one philosophy to follow for the rest of the year, which one should it be?
Yeah, in a straight-up fight for your career, for your focus, which one wins? Which one's going to give you the edge in today's crazy competitive world? Is it the slow and steady progress of habits, or the big, intense breakthroughs from deep work?
The thing is, as you've probably guessed by now, that's the wrong question. It's a trick question. This isn't a battle. It was never an either-or choice. The real winner, the person who's actually going to crush it, is the one who stops seeing these as 2 competing ideas and starts using them together as one single integrated system.
Because let's be real, in the world we live in now, an economy that rewards people who can learn hard things fast and produce incredible work, the ability to focus deeply isn't just a nice skill. It's what Cal Newport calls the superpower of the 21st century. And this hybrid system we've talked about, using habits to launch you into deep work, that's exactly how you build that superpower for yourself.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't just some interesting theory. It's a practical, actionable plan. So the real question isn't which book wins. The real question is for you, what tiny 2-minute habit are you going to create today that will become the launch pad for your most important work tomorrow? How are you going to build your bridge to deep work?